This is the best way to plant a fruit tree.
First, we're gonna just dig a hole. It needs to be roughly the same size as what we're planting. So today we're planting a bare root fruit tree. So this is how any of the trees that you buy from me, this is the form they're gonna come in. First step is to just give it a little soak. So I'm gonna dunk it in the pond here for a drink. And I'm gonna leave it here soaking as I'm kind of preparing my hole. So I'm gonna scoop up a load of wood chips. I have another bucket full of compost ready to go. Then I'm gonna get some cardboard. The cardboard is there to kind of suppress the weeds as a blocking mulch, and then it'll rot down eventually as well. So we're gonna bring all our materials down to our planting site, and then it's very important to make sure that our tree isn't planted too deep or too shallow. So you can see here I'm just checking that the point where the roots begin should be right at the level of the soil. If it's any deeper than that and the trunk is buried, it might end up rotting a little bit. So I'm gonna refill the soil here because my hole is a little bit too deep. Just give it another check. Still a little bit too deep, so I'm going to put some more soil in. And here are some bluebell bulbs that I dug out of the hole. So this is a native Irish wildflower that I'm going to just put back in again, because why not? The more diversity we have growing in here, the better. The more various plants there are living in the space, the better the biology gets fed, and yeah, the happier our tree is going to be. And they're pretty too, so why not? Right, so now I'm just going to make sure I spread out my roots. Make sure they're spread out in a fan-like fashion, that they're not wrapped underneath or going kind of back towards the tree itself. So just kind of teasing them apart and making sure they all go in the right kind of direction here. Once that's all set and ready to go, I'm going to cover over all the roots with the soil that I dug out at the beginning, crumbling it up, making sure that there's no air pockets around the roots. So it's really well covered, just shaking all that soil back on again. Once I'm finished that, I'm going to put a little sprinkle of compost. This is compost that I made myself. You can check one of my other reels about how to make compost. And then I'm going to put that cardboard down. So I'm making sure there's no sellotape, no glue, no labels on this cardboard. And this is going to stop the grass growing, and it's going to stop the grass from competing with my tree when it's still kind of getting established. Then I cover all the cardboard with wood chips and give the tree a really good drink. This is important now, like a lot of water just for the first time. So this will settle any air pockets in between and around the roots. Make sure the tree is really well settled in and really well hydrated so that it's ready to get established. Because in the first year when you plant a tree, it's going to be kind of vulnerable until its roots get dug into the ground. So really good drink, let that soak. And now the controversial part. It seems like madness, right? But I'm going to chop most of this tree off, particularly when the tree is getting established. If there's loads of branches and stuff above the ground and only a small, weak, fragile root system, the tree's really going to struggle to get started. So this just makes sure that there's not that much material above the ground here, that all this stuff that I'm taking off, the tree doesn't have to try and fight to keep alive. So, and don't worry, it'll all regrow. As you can see here, this is a little step into the future and the tree is looking healthy and happy.